Now that the hot hatch market is making a comeback, Toyota has decided to join the fun by making a rally-inspired hot hatch, and I happen to have the keys to one for a day. The first thing you notice when you look at one of these GR Corollas is just how different it looks from a normal Corolla. If you take a look at it on the side, you will see it has wider fenders. That's thanks to a factory wide body kit from Toyota, which gives it about 2.5 inches of extra width. That lets it accommodate these bigger wheels and tires that give it more stopping power and more grip. If we take a look out front, you will see that this car has a massive grille, which allows for more engine cooling, and it gives it a very nice and aggressive front end. Coming down from the side, you will see that it has this little vent right here, which allows the air from inside the wheel well to come out, and it gets channeled to this rear fender, which is also wider thanks to the wide body kit that Toyota put on it. If we take a look at the rear, we see this bigger wing right here and a very cool triple exhaust. But the one thing that makes this Corolla actually really special is this thing right here under the hood. This is a 1.6 liter 3-cylinder 300 horsepower engine borrowed from the GR Yaris. And if you've seen the reports of the GR Yaris, you know this thing is very tunable. That is because it has massive cylinder walls which allow for more cooling and a lot of durability. It's also paired with a 6-speed manual, and the main party piece, this thing is all-wheel drive, and it allows for 3 different torque splits. It has 60-40, 50-50, or 70-30, which allows for a drift mode. The defining trait of a hot hatch is that it's a fun car, but is also practical, and this GR Yaris is no exception. As you can see, we have camera gear for 2 YouTube channels. Shout out to Q the Chaotic for lending me this car for the review today. And it's very practical, but it's not practical only here. It's also practical back here because this thing has 4 seats and 4 doors. As you can see, I can fit behind myself with a little bit of room in my legs. It is not the most spacious thing in the world, but it's not bad at all. The GR Corolla is also pretty nice up front. It is pretty roomy in here, and the visibility is really good because of these big windows. The steering wheel is nice and high quality, although it is a little thin, and the shifter has a very positive engagement every time you move it around. It also has the latest Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and infotainment system from Toyota. And overall, this is typical Toyota. It is not the highest quality, but it is very well built, and you can feel how solid the interior is. It is a pretty good place to be, and I wouldn't mind driving this every day. I really want to give a special thanks to my man Q the Chaotic. I will leave his YouTube channel down in the description, so go subscribe to him. He's the owner of this Corolla, and honestly a really cool dude. So please go follow him. Also like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for my channel. And see you all in the review. So let's take a look at how it drives. Gotta say, for a 3-cylinder, this thing has a lot of power. 300 horsepower out of a 1.6 3-cylinder is pretty wild in my opinion. And it seems it's because this thing has a lot of boost. It's running about 28 psi, which is pretty crazy considering this is such a small engine. This engine is also found on the GR Yaris, and if you know the reports that have come out for it, you know that this thing is very tunable. So this thing is very durable, and that is because it has some insanely thick cylinder walls, like almost an inch thick. It's pretty crazy, so it can take a beating. It's also an open deck design. The advantage to that is just that you have a lot more coolant flow around the cylinder, so it makes the engine cool itself better, so it can withstand the boost for a long time. I also heard some reports that the rear diff overheats, but on the ride along I had on the track, we took a couple of laps, and honestly we didn't have any issues. is almost like driving a reliable Subaru, which is something I've always wanted to exist. Fortunately, I never had that luck, but now, you gotta see, I'm kind of wanting one of these. This thing is really, really good. It's really nice to drive. It's really comfortable. Visibility is great. Suspension is a little bit bumpy, but it's not that bad. But the driving experience is just on a different level. It's so fun. Such a chuckable car, and it has a lot of grip on the road. Even though today is a cold day, I've never had any instances where I've had any reason to be scared of it. It's a car that has like zero learning curve. It is super fun, very, very engaging to drive. And it takes corners in a way that reminds me so much of those old Subarus. It is really awesome. Toyota did an amazing job with this car. So slowing down for a moment to appreciate how this thing drives when you're not going all out on it. It is a very pleasant drive. This is the point when the bumpy suspension kind of starts to get in the way, but it's honestly not that bad. I could see myself daily driving one of these, no problem. The steering, even though it's very sharp, it becomes pretty light and easy when you're not on it. And the transmission is so easy that you don't really have a problem. I guess if I had to find a word to describe the driving experience in this car, would be wouldn't bother, because I don't feel bothered driving this car. I feel like you can just cruise around, and when I want to have fun, you just drop a few gears and get on it and chuck it into a corner, and you're back to smiling again. It is a really cool duality that this thing provides. It is such a cool car. It's been a really fun day reviewing this GR Corolla today. It is one of the most fun cars I've driven this year, and it's honestly a win by Toyota in my book. The way the car drives with this all-wheel drive system is amazing. Even if I couldn't try it out completely on public roads, you can really tell it makes a difference. And the transmission on this thing, the 6-speed manual, is nice and snappy and super easy to drive. But the gem of this car is this 3-cylinder engine. It has an amazing torque band that doesn't leave you stranded at any point. It sounds awesome, and it's just super fun to rev out. I really am happy that Toyota built something like this, and I really hope to see more stuff like this from them in the future.